explanation because we don't owe people an explanation.
No.
When you hurt my friend, you hurt me.
Right.
And there's certain people you're close friends with, and you shouldn't allow other people to hurt them. I'm just.
Yep. Yep. I know. Yeah, Nikki, I understand that completely. I've got a small group of people on here now that I've become close with. I know they have my back 100%. And I have theirs 100%. Right. So yeah, I mean,
and I'm sorry, but if you're gonna sit with people like Julie and Jenny, who made birth alert comments, who then, because of those comments, other people made the actual calls to CPS. If you're gonna sit with those people, you don't get to tell me that I can't sit with Moist Cake.
Yeah, exactly.
Nikki, I did not know that.
Yep.
Oh my, I didn't know that. Why did I miss that? So
Well, yeah, I think I had told you what happened off app. Like,
oh my goodness. Yeah, I didn't
anyways,
know.
I have to go in the shower.
Good. Val?
Yeah, she said she had to go in the shower.
Okay. Yeah,
Love
no,
you,
I'm
Val.
it's just fucked up. And Val is a very kind, nice person, and I'm really getting pissed off. It's fucking gross.
Yeah, it's Val seems very sweet. She's my only mod. Not like I ever go live, but yay. But
Val is good people.
yeah, I'm
Definitely not dangerous, that's for sure.
yeah. It's a real
And
shame.
you never hear her bringing up people's names and talking shit about people on app.
I've never
Do you know
heard.
what? I
when
have
she
had
could.
phone calls where I have bawled my eyes out to Val, and it never made it on the app.
Yeah, but that's what a friend does, right? That's friendship.
Yep.
That's a real friend.
Yep.
You know.
Val's a good friend.
Um.
I'm more mad about Val's name being mentioned than I am my own name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm pissed off. I would have been less pissed off if my name was mentioned. You know what I mean? I've been like, fuck, whatever, I don't care. But not when you're accusing people that, like, and I know Nikki and Val haven't been around. Like, I'm good friends with them. I know they haven't been around, and I know they didn't do this shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's
no,
wild.
we would never.
No.
Well, since I've met Nikki on here, I mean, I love listening to her Indigenous lives because, like I said, that's an area that I should be learning more. But she's always been an advocate against doxing and these harmful things, right? So I just can't see how, how somebody can throw Val and Nikki under a bus, basically, right? Without proof that they were the ones that did it. I mean, it's just.
Well, another fact that they say they're an ally, and they did that to two Indigenous women. It's fucking gross.
I was going to say that, but I didn't think it was. I didn't.
I'll say all the fucking things.
You will. I know, babe.
It makes us targets.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely dangerous and problematic.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're going to sit with someone who's actively tried to seek out and attack us already.
Yeah.
Like, I don't tell you who you can and cannot sit with. I just don't go into your room if those people are in there.
Yeah, that's how I do too. What I do too. I don't go anywhere near certain people in certain people's lives. If I'm in a live and certain people come in, I usually dip. I'm done. Not because I'm scared of the person. I just don't want to cause arguments for no reason, right? So it's just not.
Like if there's a chill live going on, yeah, I'll sit and I'll listen while I'm doing stuff around the house or whatever. But the moment drama happens, I fucking leave.
The girl from TikTok has a really good point, and I actually said that this weekend. I think a few other people did too. You know, the way that
Well, Amy.
oh, sorry, the way that Fancy got treated by certain groups, right? It's ridiculous.
Like, me and Crystal had it out for a while, and we talked, and we yelled at each other at first, and I think we had to do that to get to the conversation that we needed to have. But we've been fine since.
Crystal's a sweetheart. I will
That's why I'm
attest
not
to
getting
that.
involved in the bullshit.
Crystal's good people. She really is. I trust Crystal. I think Crystal is a very sweet person, and she's got a big heart.
I did, Fancy. I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the other thing is like when you're wrong, just say you're wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like there's
What's wrong with that? You're actually a bigger person by doing that.
Yeah, like there's a few times on here recently that I am not apologizing. I don't care if
I've
I
had
was
to
wrong.
make a couple apologies because I have said a few off-hinge bullshit.
We all do.
That was really gross of me. I didn't apologize until I was ready for a genuine apology.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm not going to apologize to someone unless I actually mean it.
Yep. And that's how I feel about LB and I, right?
Oh, fuck LB. I'm not apologizing.
That's why I wasn't going to say it, but
Nope.
I wasn't going to say it, but I will not.
Today, Amy, not today.
Yeah. Nope. Done. Anyways, next.
I will honestly say I will not apologize to LB for anything I have said to that woman.
No, me either.
Nope.
I'm done. Yeah. Don't care.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
When you sit there and say that MMIW is not a genocide, and you sit there and you victim blame,
and then go back on it. That was weird. Yeah.
When you sit there and you use hashtag all lives matter,
oh wow, that was wild.
Or every child matters an abortion topic.
Yeah,
no,
fucking weird.
I'm not apologizing.
That was wild. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, right? There's just some people that you're just like, nope, fuck that. There's other people that, you apologize when you're ready, you work through it yourself. Sometimes you have to sit with things for a while in order for it to make sense too, right? Forced apologies aren't going to get anybody anywhere.
How the fuck is BLM bad messaging?
That's what somebody said yesterday.
That's weird.
Yeah,
like if you were someone that says all lives matter, you don't stand for Black Lives Matter. You don't stand for every child matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter is a movement because Black lives have not mattered.
Right.
Every Child Matters is a movement because Indigenous children didn't matter.
Yeah. Nikki, read Evil Pants.
I don't understand how it's confusing.
That was in a live yesterday that someone was voicing how they thought BLM was bad. They support the movement, but they think it's bad messaging or something along those lines. Yeah. Yeah. Which was disgusting actually to listen to be quite honest. Anyways.
Like, I will always stand up for Black Lives Matter, just like I will stand up for Every Child Matters.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'll give you, Nikki, is you do stand up for all of them. You don't, just stand up for the Indigenous community,
Even
which
if
you're.
it's too fancy.
Yep. Yep. Yes, you totally did when it came to the.
That was fucked up.
Yeah, it was. Let's not lie. That was messed up. And Nikki had no problem speaking up at all.
No, that was fucked up.
Yeah.
Just like Nick's face being shot out of a painting and comments of Oreos and apples, like none of it's fucking acceptable.
No. 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 There's been a lot of
I'm not okay with that either, Nicola. I wasn't even able to see that.
Yeah, I didn't hear what PG said, so I can't defend something if I didn't hear it. But the general concept that I think the left went way too far and is semi-responsible for the reactions of the right. And again, I realize this is like borderline argument of like, what are you wearing? I do realize that. But unfortunately, we have to be aware that that's what happens. When you push one way, you're going to get a reaction the other way. So that's why like being diplomatic or picking your battles is so important. So whether it's things like pronouns, like if you listen to the rhetoric from the conservative side, the whole pronoun thing is one of the biggest things they're pushing back against. And if it wasn't for what happened with Trump, I'm telling you, Canada would now be conservative and nobody would get any of that. And honestly, they'd have probably got rid of the entire discussion about gender. So it was counterproductive. That's where his position was. I unfortunately have to agree with that. I think the defund the police argument was actually a good one. I had no problem with that messaging. Because you really didn't hear the same level of pushback from the conservative side. In fact, it kind of opened everything up to discussion.
I thought so too.
But
I did.
The BLM one, unfortunately, I do think they went too far on that, and I think it became counterproductive. And that's why you're going to hear people even from like the Black and Indigenous and like other communities kind of pushing back, saying the same thing. Because it was counterproductive. Like, do I have a problem with the sentiment behind it? Obviously not. I totally agree. Black lives do matter, and I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, all lives matter. No, I get the point. But it was an easy narrative to get twisted around. And you have to understand, when you're dealing with illiterate people or people that just don't have the same level of education, they are going to misunderstand things. I honestly thought that Trudeau, for example, kind of threw himself under a bus when he started showing up on, drag story time hour and drag shows. Like, honestly, he had no place being there. But I will then turn around and say that a politician also has no place, publicly going to church. Like, if they want to do it in their private time, that's fine. But using it as a publicity stunt, I think is totally unacceptable in both cases, because all it's doing is causing separation. The fact of the matter is we know that certain groups, not just the extreme right, certain groups are going to disagree with it. Or some of them, it's just going to take time. So just constantly pushing it is counterproductive. That would be my argument. And, again, if it wasn't for Trump, we would be going conservative. And I think most Canadians realize that. So if your goal was to be able to use pronouns and stuff like that and start pushing it harder, then you did a horrible job of getting there. Because all you did was basically push one side too far the other way. So I think we have to be very careful and very slow. You got to pick your battles. I think the Liberal Party should have, they could have done a lot more behind the scenes without kind of putting it in everybody's face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I can agree with that for sure. My problem is that as a white person, I have no business telling the Black community how to present their messaging, right?
No, so I'm okay with the Black community running with BLM. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about when it becomes politicized and our politicians are pushing it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's different. Yeah,
it's harmful to the Black community because the minute you make something political or partisan, then essentially what you're doing is forcing people to sides. And that's something I like about Carney. Like a lot of people, I use this as an argument for conservatives, because a lot of them, I'm not joking, is their whole pronoun thing. And I say, well, go and look at Carney's platform. He is not pushing the whole, that narrative as hard. And yet when I talk to liberals who are like, oh no, he should be pushing it harder, I'm like, you realize he's got a trans daughter he totally supports, right? So what I like about that is he's taken it away from the political eye and virtue signaling. And all you have to do when it comes to Carney is look at his actions rather than, kind of those words in vain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a far better way of doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I do. I understand what you're saying.
And instead of pushing pronouns and pushing this in quotes trans agenda, if he had simply had a trans daughter that he respected and defended, then to be honest, I don't think you'd have got such a pushback from the conservative side, because they have family that they defend too. There are trans people on the conservative side. And that's what I don't think people kind of realize is that,
oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like there are black MAGA, you know what I mean? And we have to acknowledge this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
I think he is progressive. I just don't think he politicizes it the same way. And I think Canada's going to take that a lot better.
I do too. I think
No, so I never see, this is the thing, and this is what irritates me about liberals. I just made a very specific statement and they've just spun it around, and now they'll probably accuse me of being conservative. The marginalized communities can do whatever the fuck they want. My issue is when the politicians start doing it, because the same argument could be made for the Christians, right? So if all of a sudden you had politicians pushing their Christian beliefs, you'd be flipping the fuck out. Right. So the fact of the matter is that is not our politicians' job. They're not there to push their beliefs on us. What they are there to do is to make sure that our laws protect people on all sides, which means that Christians should have the right to their own beliefs, and trans people have the right to exist. Right. But there's a difference between, enforcing fair laws that are about human rights and pushing your belief. Are Trudeau going to drag Storytime Hour publicly? I don't care what he does privately, but publicly is no different than him going to church and pushing that. And it is counterproductive. Even if that's the goal you want, if you're willing to realize that that is exactly how MAGA got in, and that's exactly how Canada was about to go conservative, all I'm saying is that you are fighting against your own beliefs. Right? If you do want to see things like, everybody using pronouns in paperwork throughout the government, you do it slowly. You don't slam it hard at the beginning and then flip governments and then it gets banned.
Yeah.
Pushing any form of personal belief should not be something done by politicians. You can still enforce laws to allow trans people to exist without going on drag Storytime Hour. Two fundamentally different things. One of them is actually achieving the legality of it. And no, because it doesn't need to be personal. And again, honestly, like if the liberals want to push so hard that even now we go conservative and sell our country out, as I leave this country, I'll be giving the liberals the finger on my way out, because I already knew the conservatives were going to do it. But if the liberals are too stupid to realize what they're doing, then this country truly is fucked.
I think Canada needs someone that's more centrist right now.
Absolutely.
That's why we need Mark Carney.
To bring people together.
I agree, Nikki.
The only way to get union, to bring people together, is to get, basically nobody wins. The Christians don't win.